You're watching the CG Live podcast. Now, the content for these podcasts are a little bit different than our normal pods as we bring on members and do long-form interviews. These were actually recorded live at our events with members that were going on stage to present, so the content is killer. Enjoy the show. Welcome back into the Live Collective Genius podcast. We are live here in Dallas, Texas at our Q3 event for Collective Genius CEO and Premier. So we are now almost complete with day 2. We have a half day tomorrow before we are done here at our event. I have to my right, first time on the pod, long time. He's not that old, but he is a long-time member of CG, 7 years. It's crazy to think that you've been in this community for 7 years. Mr. Andrew Newlon from Springfield, Missouri. Welcome to the pod.
Thanks, Leon.
So tell us, you're obviously in Springfield. Tell us what it is that you specifically do in Springfield.
Yep. Springfield, Missouri. We focus primarily on wholesaling and flipping houses. We have a rental portfolio, a couple short-term rentals, but mostly short transactions.
Yeah, and over the last year, I have noticed that you've become a local celebrity in Springfield. What I love, one of the many things I love about this community is when you see members like Andrew that haven't done something in the past, that watch presentations of other members and say, that fits something I think I could do, even though I didn't come into this ever wanting to do this. I now see that it can be done. It is possible, and I can do it my way. Specifically, what I'm talking about is your track presentation. Earlier, I mentioned before that our track presentations here at the Collective Genius are for real estate entrepreneurs that want to focus on a specific topic and not necessarily sit in a room watching presentations that don't apply to what they need right now. And earlier, your presentation was specifically on using social media, which we know those presentations have been done, but let us know how yours was a little bit different of how you presented on social media influence for your local market.
Yeah. I think by now we all know that social media is not only important, but it's necessary. Mm-hmm. And Collective Genius has done a really good job bringing some really big names into the group or already members of the group to present on how to gain hundreds of thousands of followers and to financially benefit from it because of affiliates or they're selling programs or getting students, whatever the case may be. But not a lot of people talk about how to build a local influence. Mm-hmm. I had no desire to expose myself and get out there and gather a big following. To me, it was over daunting. I didn't want to commit to it. I don't want to build a course. But I recognize the value of when someone wants to do business with me, they need to see that I'm legitimate. They need to have that credibility and that trust factor. More importantly, I just wanted awareness. I wanted people to know about me, to think about me, anything real estate related in my local market.
Yeah. So in your presentation, you referenced multiple members that you saw something from their presentations or their social media that you took a little from here. And it's like creating Frankenstein, right? You took a little bit here and there and created this local brand. Who are some of those influences for you?
The first one that really stuck out to me years ago was Eric Brewer, when he used to do mostly Facebook Lives. And he'd just get in there and just talk about whatever's going on in his business at the time. And then more recently, when I started doing this with Santini Lancioni, I think he does a tremendous job of showing like the inside life of being a real estate investor. We kind of have similar personalities. We're not overly charismatic. He just walks the property, talks about it. And I felt like the message he pushed out there was relevant to whether someone buying a house, selling you a house, wants to work on one of your houses, wants to lend you money, whatever the case may be, that message is relevant to everyone.
So again, his presentation wasn't about being a social media star nationwide because you want to be an educator in this space or popular to nationwide. He just wanted to make sure that he was the local authority using this specific channel of social media. So some of the tips that you gave in the room, if you don't mind, share some of those with the listeners of how someone becomes a local authority versus trying to be all things for everybody nationwide.
Right. I think the biggest thing is to expose yourself, what it looks like every day.
Well, careful with that. You don't want to expose too much
Not
now.
too much. So what does it look like to be in the life of a real estate investor, right? And so for me, what works very, very well is property walkthroughs. So every house we buy, every house we have under contract, or even houses that we're going to make an offer on, we go over there and we do a video of me walking through a property. I talk about the property, the situation, why someone reached out to us to buy it, and then what we plan to do to the house. We do rehab updates as we're rehabbing the house. We check in, show them an update on that, and then lessons learned. The key is making it relevant to your audience. Facebook works very well for us because most people engage with family, friends, acquaintances on Facebook. People follow inspiration, motivation, influencers on Instagram and TikTok. So I put a lot of my effort in Facebook. I think the biggest key, though, is consistency. You've got to consistently put content out there. Facebook and other social media platforms are not going to share your stuff until they see that you're going to consistently give high value and high engaging content. And so I'm relentless every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and putting out a video nonstop, no matter what.
Relentless, guys. I love that word, relentless. And you are very humble. You're someone that will simply say that, I'm not trying to be a social media star. It's almost like the average Joe. How do you, with relentless pursuit of becoming this local authority, how do you not get outside of who you are, right? Because that could be, I need to create something. We were talking about this in the Q&A. I've got to go create. How are you just documenting and staying true to who you are?
Yeah. Another trick to social media is to be authentic, right? You don't want to be, if you're not charismatic, don't be charismatic. I've got dry sense of humor, so I just let it roll and we go with the punches. For me, it's just, once again, showing the properties, how we're solving a problem, what our intention is, and showing our character come through. But what we don't do is I never talk about profit. I never talk about purchase price.
Right.
And I'm very careful to not condescend or offend anyone by the property we buy. We actually have a lot of people reach out to me and say, hey, that house you just bought was my grandma's house, or I lived that house when I was a teenager. Especially in Springfield, Missouri, we're such a small community. Everyone's connected. So you got to be very careful not to step on anyone's toes.
You just mentioned some of the benefits are people reaching out, and so you're getting interaction. And what are the other benefits that you've received since you started this relentless pursuit?
It's been tremendous, and from different areas. So we get buyers, so we wholesale a lot of houses. So we get buyers who reach out to us looking for properties. We have sellers that get our postcard and they look me up on Facebook and they see that I'm real and they know exactly what to expect from me. Contractors, almost every single day I get some sort of contractor reaching out and say, hey, I'm a painter. Love to give you a bid on your houses. Employees, good people want to work for us. We just made a new hire 2 weeks ago, and I did it all through social media. I didn't have to post on Indeed. Didn't have to set up a sales funnel or anything. I just posted, hey, this is what we're looking for. Had enough candidates. I was able to pick the best one.
Hopefully you heard all of those benefits of being consistent with social media. I know there are investors that will watch this, will listen to this later and say, I'm just not the person that will put the camera in front of my face. But you hear all those benefits. How does someone go from 0 to 1? That's what we talk about quite often in CG. Where do they get started? Especially for that person that, like you, probably watched a lot of those presentations with a lot of those social media stars that we've had on stage before and said, that's not going to be me ever.
Yeah.
Where did you start? Like, I'm going to do this to get started.
It's incredibly easy. Everyone has a smartphone. We've been doing all of our videos for almost 2 years now on an iPhone. We just recently bought our big boy camera. So, an iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. An iPhone, and then a relatively cheap microphone, because audio does matter on these videos. So we've been using a $45 one off of Amazon for the longest time. You need someone to record you, and it could be your friend, it could be your spouse, it could be your assistant, it could be someone in your office. Just grab and say, hey, we're going to this house, want to record me. We use Fiverr to find a virtual assistant that edits them. That's their job. That's what they do. It's what they're really good at. They know the industry. They know what other people are doing, and they're editing it for other people anyways. So all you gotta do is give them a raw video footage and they'll edit it. And number 5, vacant property. Just find a vacant property that you have access to as one you own, bought, or getting ready to buy, and just have that person you've identified walk through the property with you. It could be a 5 to 10 minute video. You're just talking about it, and take that raw video, send it to a VA, have them condense it down to a 30 to 45 second clip. And it's that easy.
What's next? This is something that obviously you're relentless about. You're doing 3 days a week. Obviously, you're going to continue. Is there any next along the horizons of doing something else?
Yeah, I mean, I've considered building some sort of funnel, some sort of product that capitalize on, whether it's how to find off-market properties, which is what we're really, really good at. Some how to build a sales team or something like. There'll probably be an opportunity where I can capitalize on it, but right now my focus is just maintain that local awareness. It's working very well.
One thing you and I have talked about that I've seen multiple members here at the Collective Genius do really well with is what we're doing right now. A local podcast, right? You're not trying to be a guru to many. You're trying to be a local authority, having other wholesalers, contractors, anyone related to the real estate investing industry. They are your local guests. We talked about Corey Raymond in Green Bay has a great pod for that. Brett Snodgrass and Brian Snyder, when they used to do a local indie show just for the real estate industry in that particular area. I'm going to put that challenge to you. That's something that in Springfield, I guarantee you no one's doing at that level. It'll be something that will continue to help take this brand to the next level.
Yeah.
Promise you that.
It's on our core 4 opportunity list here.
Anything that you added from this particular meeting that you plan on taking back and implementing? Because you're really good at that. Here's something that I know will help my business and help my team grow. What's day and a half? What's takeaway so far?
I think the biggest takeaway so far, Brian Driscoll really presented well on looking at the seller's experience through the seller's eyes. And I've been talking to my team about that lately, but he's been able to articulate it much better than I have. So I'm going to bring that back to the team and say, hey, let's watch this together. Let's really put our feet in it. And then I was able to make a connection. So we're creating a retail listing side of our business. We talk to 15, 20 sellers a week. We buy 2, maybe 3 of those houses. That's 15 to 17 people we can't help. So it only makes sense that we have a team of agents that can then list their house if we can't buy it. And I was fortunate because of this group, I was connected to someone who's been doing that very successfully out in California. So I'm looking forward to following up on that relationship after this.
Great to hear. For those that didn't see that presentation, you can always obviously get in the room. But for that particular presentation, what I loved about it was the first time I think I've seen a reverse presentation from the seller's eyes when they fill out a form of, what they are receiving. So he had 3 different investor examples. One received 15 calls, no voicemails, which first of all, I understand follow-up, but goodness, you called me 15 times and I didn't answer. I'm probably busy. So shoot me a text or shoot me a voicemail. It just gave perspective on that person's experience and gave some really good insight to think about if any deal or any potential appointment that you're having, look at it from a seller's eyes. Loved that presentation, and that happened to be right in the same track system as you.
Yeah.
Any new relationship? The lifeblood of Collective Genius is obviously new members. Any new relationships that you maybe they're not a new member, just a new relationship?
Yeah, I mean, out to dinner last night, several new people, several longtime friends. I've been friends with 7 years now. And every single time I meet someone new, it's great. But that connection to California is going to be a good connection as well. Not only are, we can become friends, but the way they run their business, I'm really excited to peel that apart and see how I can apply it to our business.
Love that. If people want to check out your social media, we just talked about that you presented on and just get examples, how would they follow you?
Yeah. 2 main places is Facebook. So my first last name, Andrew Newlon, Newlon. And Instagram is my last name, Newlon.Andrew.
But thank you for presenting and appreciate you spending the time. We'll get you on the longer show here in the very near future as well. Love to hear more about your story. Thank you for being on the pod.
Thank you, Leon.
So if you watching right now or listening on the replays, if you would like to be in the room with members like Andrew and Santini and others that we've had on the live CG podcast, the easiest way to see if we are a good fit for you is to go check out our website at explorecg.com. There you're going to find everything you know. If you're a full-time real estate entrepreneur and you want to grow and scale your business, you will have an opportunity to see where you fit in there. Fill out that application and someone on our side will have a conversation with you. And if they're fit, we'll talk about next steps. This is the community if you want to grow and scale your real estate investing business. Guys like Andrew have been in this group for 7 years. He has been in this group continuing to give back because, as you can tell from this particular interview, has continued to get value. And, the greatest value that this community gives is friendship. And, I forgot, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this. Like we've had opportunities to go to Mexico and our families have built houses for needy families in Mexico. There's just so many things. It's family beyond just a community. So again, thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all watching. That is the wrap for the live CG podcast here at our Q3 event. Looking forward to seeing you next month. Actually, we're at CG Select right back here in Dallas, Texas. Would love to see you on here at that meeting, but also if you're not here at that meeting, would love to see you on the next live CG podcast. Until then, we'll see you later. Take care.
Are you ready to scale your real estate business? Visit thecollectivegenius.com, where real estate investors come to scale. Subscribe to the Collective Genius podcast and hit the bell icon to be notified when our next episode releases. And thanks for listening.